The start of the 2025 season was amazing. It just happened. It just happened a few hours ago, and I had to get up quite early for it, but it was really worth it. Only started racing almost half an hour because of all the incidents at the beginning, but still, this was the best opening race I've seen since I started watching F1, and that's been for more than 5 years or 6 years now. So that's interesting. We didn't quite see the pace of all the cars, but more the pace of the drivers and who has the best control of their car. We can see some of the new drivers, like the rookies, only four of the six of them DNF'd, just all crashes. Some old heads like Alonso and Sainz crashed, and Hamilton and his Ferrari struggled, which I did expect would happen, but not as much as he did. Yeah, Norris took the win just ahead of Verstappen, and Russell a very good third, with Antonelli having a wonderful drive back from I think 17th to 4th after Albon was demoted back to 5th. And Hulkenberg scores his first points in Sauber in his first race, which was amazing. And the qualifying was interesting as well. Very good drives from Bortoleto, some bad drives from other drivers, and yeah, McLaren really do look like the favourites. And Ferrari haven't been the best, which I'm very surprised with. So, we are here to talk about the rankings from 20th to 1st and who I think was the best driver over the whole weekend. Let's start with our honorable mention, Oliver Behrman, because he didn't do qualifying because he had a gearbox problem. I'm not sure if that is because of the crash he had on free practice 2, but it would have affected him in free practice 3, so that's why I don't think it is. Otherwise, I would have demoted him a bit, but we can only go with his race performance, which wasn't bad for Ricky in in a rain. And this was a very tricky race. I think it was more tricky in Brazil because more people crashed. And it's the first time we saw Australia in wet, which is very cool to see as well. Let's talk about our person in last place. And it is going to be Liam Lawson. I did expect him not to do good, but not this bad though. He was my qualifying loser, which is bad because he didn't put any good times on the board and he qualified last of all the runners while his teammate finished third, I believe. So, not very good from Lawson. Also crashed while I think he was on the mediums, which is probably more Red Bull's fault than his, but he crashed while other people didn't. His rookie color showing and probably the pressure from Red Bull is probably more than he can bear at this point. 18 is going to be Carlos Sainz, not the best qualifying 10th in the Williams, while his teammate was 5th, I think, or 6th, which was very good. His teammate also did a wonderful job in the race. We'll see why I ranked him. And Sainz crashed under the safety car. Some people think it might be because his brakes locked up. If that is true, I would change it to also put Carlos Sainz in the honorable mention sector. But at this point, I believe it's more him than the car, and that was very horrible from Sainz, crashing with all the face experience under the safety car. I really do hope it was the brakes, but at this point, I haven't seen any indication that it was. 17, Fernando Alonso. You can see some of the rookies are still ahead of the more proficient drivers because they are rookies, and Alonso just made a mistake and crashed. He really went like 2025 is over, 2026 with newbie, and his car is going to be either here. I think he already checked out. Grandpa said peace. That's all I can say. Qualifying was nothing magical as well, just less than 10th ahead of Stroll. Nothing special from Alonso today. 16th is going to be Hajar. He's going to be my race loser because he crashed on the formation lap after the first turn, and it was very sad to see him cry. It was also more sad to see Anthony Hamilton's father, console him. Wow, that was emotional. And actually very nice. I did like Anthony a lot. And Hajar, his qualifying was actually very good. Don't know if the RB is like fast or both the drivers just did amazing, but Hajar did a very good job in qualifying, which I was very surprised with. I think it just missed qualifying 3, very good. Not much off Yuki Tsunoda in Q2. That's why he is still 14th. 15 is going to be Doohan. I really like Doohan. I was a big fan of his father, Mick, and my father as well. And the history with him and Schumacher is so interesting. Go watch it if you don't know. At his home race, it was so sad to see him crash. He actually had a very good qualifying. I think he would have finished ahead of Gasly. That's why he is 15th, ahead of all the other that crashed. Well, except one. And you'll see that one later. Doohan did a good job in qualifying. In the race, he tried, but he was one of the victims on the first lap. I hope he gets his wheels turning up much better because, yeah, Colapinto is lurking and it's getting a lot closer. P14 is going to be Esteban Ocon, the first one of the drivers that did not crash. It was really hard to see Haas's pace this weekend because it just looked slow. Even and Behrman was just slow in the race, and Ocon was last of the qualifiers, not Lawson, which is very weird. I do not know if the Haas is that slow, but it wasn't that slow at the end of the year last year, so I don't know. It's hard to judge. That's why he's P14, because his qualifying in his race wasn't good. P13 is going to be Gabriel Bortoleto. Now, he is 13 for one reason and one reason only. The qualifying Q1, him going into Q2, I know he messed up Q2, but that doesn't matter. That lap he put in to take out Antonelli and Lawson is amazing. In a Sauber, out-qualifying Hulkenberg in his first qualifying, he has never been on track before. That is amazing. His race wasn't though, he did crash. A rookie mistake, quite a big crash, and a weird one as well. If he didn't have crashed, I'm pretty sure he would have been in the top 10. No doubt. But he did crash. 13th is the highest I could have given him for what he did. P12 is going to be Lewis Hamilton. I know it's a bit low. He's still getting used to the car. His qualifying wasn't good. He wasn't that far off Leclerc. But the race was not good. He and his engineers just fighting. I think he misses Bono so much. No hammer times for him at this point. But yeah, it's just weird. And Leclerc took a spin, finished ahead of him, and Piastri, with that massive error, finished still ahead of him. Finished 9th, I think. It's not good for Lewis, not good for Ferrari. I really thought they were fighting for the win, and they just didn't. 11th place, the guy just talked about, Piastri. He probably would have been my top 5 until he made that mistake. I really thought he was out of the race, and my girlfriend was so heartbroken because she really wanted him to win his home race. And 11th is the best I could give. He had a decent qualifying, so close to Paul, and then the race was very solid. I think I would have ranked him ahead of Norris if he finished the race without that mistake, because there was points where he was faster, but then Norris just disappeared and he made a mistake, which isn't. It's hard. It's a hard race. You could have seen Norris made the same mistake. Verstappen didn't. He just struggled to keep it on the road, and that's what racing is sometimes. And I think he finished 8th. Oh no, he finished 9th. Sorry. And yeah, very sad to see Piastri finish there. Top 10 points time. 10th place is going to be Nico Hulkenberg. Even though he scored points, and a lot more than Sauber did last year, or kick or stake or whatever, qualifying is going to bring him down a lot, because he was known last year for his qualifying until he faced off against a rookie teammate, which destroyed him in qualifying last year and this year as well. In the first qualifying, he got out in Q1, and his teammate went to Q2 and destroyed him a bit in qualifying. I did not expect that. That's the only reason why he's so low. But his race was very good, keeping it clean. I don't know how he even got into the points, but that was really good. And I can't wait to see him in the Audi next year. Hopefully they'll a bit better than this, because then he can maybe get a podium or two, because that would be amazing. Hulkenberg did a good job for his first race in Sauber. And, well, not his first race, but the first race this year. Hopefully he gets more points, because I don't think he will. But yeah. 9th place is going to be Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Why is he 9th? Just qualifying. Just qualifying. That was very disappointing out in Q1, but it's hard because the rest of the drivers on this list just had a much better weekend, more of a solid weekend. But his race, he was really in my top 3 drivers of the race, third behind the top 2, because he was 1.5 seconds behind Russell. If he overtook Russell, he would have probably been in my top 5. No jokes. He got a penalty, got behind Albon, and then it was revoked, so he's in 4th, which is an amazing comeback from I think 17th or 18th, which is really amazing. And I really think this kid is going to be the next Verstappen if that is his first race in the wet, mind you. The next driver on the list is going to be someone that I really don't like, but he does deserve some credit sometimes, is Lance Stroll. My dog also wants to be in the video. She's so cute. Yeah. Lance Stroll did a very good job. He didn't crash while his teammate did, and he scored loads of points. I think 6th or 5th. I think it's 6th. Still, I don't like the guy. I don't think he deserves to be in F1. But this race, I think he deserves some shout out because he did good. For someone that does good sometimes, he did good in the rain. 7th place is going to be Pierre Gasly. Qualifying was very good. The race, not so much. Well, the race is good, but not excellent like usually. He made a mistake and then 4 drivers passed him. That's the only thing I could remark over his race. Qualifying was very good. Qualifying 9th or 8th. Like, I can't remember everything, I'm sorry. And just a solid weekend. I think 7th is a good place for him. 6th place is going to be his best friend, Yuki Tsunoda, which I do think had a very excellent weekend. Qualifying, wow. 5th place, amazing. And then you go to the race. That's why he's only 6th on here, because for some reason he didn't finish any points, even though he started 5th. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe some bad strategy calls. I think he also made a mistake on the last turn. That is how Leclerc overtook him. So that is why he is 6th. A very good race for Yuki Tsunoda. I'm pretty sure Red Bull are regretting their choices at this point. Give it 2 more races. If it's going to stay the same, I don't think Lawson's going to be in that seat for long. Okay, top 5 time. 5th place is going to be Charles Leclerc. You might be surprised why he's here. He had a very good race. He was constantly faster than Hamilton, just behind Russell the whole time. He was just so much quicker the whole time. Before the chaos started, I think he also made a spin. That's the one thing I can take away from that. His qualifying was also very good for the car he has. The same as Hamilton, I just think Leclerc had a more equal road. I think he still had a better race even with the spin because he still finished ahead of Hamilton, and it would have been cool to see them both on the podium, but that didn't happen, and I hope they get their ducks in orders because they are not that fast. 4th place is going to be George Russell, the guy finished in 3rd and qualifying 4th. He had a very good weekend. He was quick in qualifying, surprisingly quick. He did a good times on the medium because Mercedes had problems with tires or something like that. And in the race, he was really decent. He started to catch Verstappen before the chaos happened, and then Verstappen was just ahead of him. He was solid. He was just the best he could have done that whole weekend. I don't think he had a faster car than Verstappen. Maybe it's still hard to see because Lawson, and Antonelli. So I don't know. Anthony did catch him a bit, so that's why he's only 4th, because I think that's a bit of criticism, but I don't think he was pushing at that point. Okay, top 3 times, bronze, silver, and gold. Our 3rd place is going to be the winner and the pole sitter, Lando Norris. It might be controversial to put him only 3rd, but you will see why now. Qualifying was very good. He deserved that pole. Not as big of a margin in qualifying as I would have thought they would be, but Piastri is a very good driver. The race, he was my best driver of the race, but overall over the weekend I think he had a 3rd place because his qualifying wasn't magical, it was just good. He definitely had the fastest car and he didn't dominate the race as he probably should have, Piastri was sometimes quicker than him, and I think that is a bit of a downfall. And I'm not sure what happened with that McLaren telling him to not be overtaken, but I don't think it would have done any problems. Helped him out much. I think he was the faster driver over the whole weekend. Second place, it's going to be the runner-up in the race, Max Verstappen. Good qualifying. It's hard to see how fast they got, like I said, so it's hard to say where he should have qualified. Third was very good, so he was in my top 5 of the qualifying, and he was also my top 5 for the race because he had a very good race. I think he was probably second or third in my race ranking because he was very good. I think the reason why he's second, he would have probably been third. That stint where he was on dry tires and was keeping up with the people on the intermediates. Not even Norris knew how the hell he was still behind him in second. So you know that means something. If a driver isn't sure how someone else is still there. That just shows you the magic of Max Verstappen. But number 1 still beats him out. And it's going to be Alexander Albon, who for some reason just loves Melbourne. Qualifying was amazing, just behind Yuki in 6th, while his teammate, who everybody thought was going to destroy him, 10th. And then he put some of the best work in the race. No mistakes, just push. And he finished 4th. And then 5th. 5th is still very good for Williams. I think they would have been very proud with that. He was exceptional this weekend. He was my driver for qualifying. He was the best driver in qualifying in my opinion. And he was in my top 5 for the race. So that is why he is number 1 for the weekend and the best driver of the Australian Grand Prix. Let's quickly go through my predictions. I actually did good until Antonelli got his place back because I got 5 out of 9 and then he dropped to 4th again. My good drive was Aston Martin. I did say if they score a point, they would be a good drive. At some stage, it didn't look like it. You might say it was a bad drive because of Alonso, but that's more of Alonso not being good than Aston Martin. Bad drive Lawson. I did say he's going to have a bad drive, but I didn't think it would be this bad. This was disastrous. Pole was Norris, very good with that. 5th was Antonelli, which I got right and then wrong. Verstappen 4th wrong. 3rd Piastri, 2nd Leclerc. And 1st Norris, I did predict the winner, which is nice. My crazy prediction was Piastri would make contact with Norris, which didn't happen. So yeah. Amazing start of the season, and I can't wait for the rest of the year. So thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe. We're gonna do it, and yeah, see you for the rest of the season. Cheers.